This podcast is rated IS for incredibly silly and definitely contains bad words, bad jokes, and other bad content that should not be heard by anyone, least of all children. Or maybe it should be. We don't know. We're still not their parents. You're listening to the Starforge podcast with Scya and Mal, two nerdy humans who still have a lot to say about Star Wars: The Old Republic and all its features. Rest assured, the podcast is, as always, working as intended. This is episode 28, Star Wars Celebration 2022. Hello, Swotor players. I am Mal.
And I'm Scya.
And if you want to hear a funny story, when we recorded the last episode, we were laughing so much and we just started and we forgot to say those very important intro lines.
We got to say hi who we were?
Yeah, so I had to snag it from another episode and just Frankenstein that bitch in there.
I have been misquoted and misrepresented.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a lot of quoting and representing in this episode. But before that, Mal's got a story.
I do. I have a shout out. A shout out to Kantara Valerian. I was in a story mode toss for Tech Fragments on Mal Mark II. And when we hit the second boss, Kantara, they asked me if I was Mal from the Starforge podcast.
Could be good. Could be bad.
And I know, I waited about 30 seconds because I wasn't sure if it was going to be a good thing or a bad thing. But I said, yes, it's me. And they said that they really enjoy the podcast. And I don't know, that made me really happy. I was spotted in the wild by a fan of the show.
So if you see someone named Mal Mark II, let her know. It makes her happy. If you listen to this and you're like, I like it when you guys say bad words. I like it when you guys make bad jokes.
I know. Tell me how funny you don't find me.
If you see me, don't tell me. I don't want to talk to you.
Oh my God. I am happy to report. I am happy to report no one in this group put markers down everywhere telling me where I should be going.
No one made it into no one made it into your stories. No one made it into
absolutely not. If you're gonna, fan all over the show, you can, unless you would like to be the subject of they can't make this Sith up. And then please do something ridiculous and I will write all about you. Prior to that, though, I did a story mode EV, and people did put markers down.
No way!
Yeah, right off the bat. I don't know how the tank is supposed to tank Soa from the outer ring, but, that's where the marker was.
Wow, maybe
what
it
is
was
it?
Don't stand there?
What is EV and markers? Every EV I do, people put fucking markers.
They're not for you. Relax.
I know. Next time I go, I'm going to put them everywhere, just to sow confusion. See if I can get myself booted. I have waited 20,000 years, and I will mark no longer.
That's you putting down markers, by the way.
That is me. But anyway, today we have other things to talk about, because today is a special report.
There's no disappointing other people here, except for you guys who didn't get to attend.
This is a Starforge podcast special report. So today we are going to drive the spaceship past the people that are disappointed into the real world here, as Scya recently took a trip to Star Wars Celebration 2022. Now, I was 99% convinced that people already knew all about this and what it is, but Scya tells me that there's a little bit of confusion about what this celebration actually is. So, Scya, please tell me about that.
So Star Wars Celebration is a convention that's 100% focused on Star Wars. And when we're talking about convention, we're not talking about your little local Comic-Con that 200 people attend. I'm talking 40 to 60,000 people attending these conventions. They aren't quite every year, and they move around. This year's was in Anaheim. Next year will be in London. The year before that was in Chicago. But they are massive, and the stars of Star Wars often show up, directors, producers, everything like this. A massive event just filled to the brim with Star Wars nerds, and I am very lucky. I live not too far away. I live in Los Angeles, so I was able to go this year and actually participate and be an active contributor to this event, which was super, super cool.
That is so awesome. I'm in New York, so we have New York Comic-Con here, which is really, it's not your rinky-dink Comic-Con. It's pretty packed full of people. Ours is 4 days. It's a Thursday to Sunday affair. Is that about how long Celebration is?
Exactly, same thing. And what people go for is they go for three main things. One is to go see these panels where they announce new things. For example, the Tales of the Jedi was officially announced. We got the first visuals for that. We found out about a new TV show called The Skeleton Crew. There's lots of books announcements and stuff like that. Lots of stars go up on stage. Dave Filoni was there. I even got to see him on the stage. And another thing people go for is the major shopping. There's a lot of exclusives and collector's items. So if you collect Star Wars, you want to go to this thing. And then lastly, for the nerds, for the geeks and the freaks, for everybody who loves Star Wars, what the coolest thing for me is that you could be standing in literally any location, any line. You turn to your left and your right, and you can have someone to talk to about Star Wars because they love it.
You are with your people.
Yeah, people.
You are surrounded by like-minded people.
So for me, that's the big draw is I love talking to people about Star Wars, especially obviously the Old Republic. I'm like, I'm a big fan. Big shocker there. My husband asked me if I couldn't talk to anybody, if I just went for the panels and the shopping, would I go? And I was like, no. I love talking to people about this game. I love talking to people about the Old Republic era, and that was 100% why I went.
So this sounds like a really, really freaking fantastic time. And we're going to take a little tour. You of the Starforge Podcast Fan Collective. You are coming on our celebration tour.
Get in my backpack.
Get in her backpack. Get under her cape. Her cape of wonders. Now listen, I was lucky enough that this project was shared with me about a month and a half before it was actually created.
It was a really badly kept secret.
This cape of wonder. I told nobody. See? Now you know. Now you know you can tell me things because I will not tell. Scya, talk about this cape.
Wow. So this cape, this is a podcast, so it's all audio. So I'm going to do my best I can here, but there's totally photos out there of this Old Republic cape. So about 3 years ago, I went to Last Celebration and I was seeing everyone's costumes and I love seeing them. And I was like, I want to make something. I want to make something Old Republic. And at first I was like, ooh, I could make a Jedi or something like that. But I really wanted to create a conversation piece, something that people stop and talk to and admire and get shared and stuff like that, rather than just something that's more just for me, which is what a costume, like a Jedi costume or a trooper costume would be. And so I thought, what could be a good way to have a conversation about the Old Republic? And I wanted to share the contributions of the Old Republic into the greater era, the greater good of Star Wars. How did Old Republic affect everything Star Wars, and how does it fit into the big puzzle piece of Star Wars itself? Because we're going to Celebration, and there's people who enjoy all parts of Star Wars there. Some may have never even heard of the Old Republic. Others know bits and pieces about it, like the Great Revan, and maybe not the rest. So this conversation piece, the idea was to have the lore and story represented in the form of all the characters. And I mean, okay, maybe not every single 6,000 characters in the game, but when I say all the characters, our goal was put every character that was recognizable or monumental or that people could remember, significant in some way. And there was so many characters. We went for the comics, the books, the games, just anything that was Old Republic era made it on this cape. And the characters are like cut out on a space background. And it was custom made by another Star Wars The Old Republic player. And her name is Valerie. And she runs Instagram at tumbleweed__treasures. And if you ever need a custom costume made, she will make one for you. She did it all on the internet. I never met her in person except for like a brief 5 minutes at Last Celebration. She helped me take all my measurements and listen to all my weird concerns about like, will this fit and stuff like that? And then she sent me the draft of the patterns of the cape and the dress. And then we screen printed it through an outside company, this Photoshop file that I made with 1 million characters. And I got to see it the day before Celebration. Like, I had no idea exactly what it would look like. And I put it on and I'm like, I've never worn anything that fit perfect like that before. And then the cape was everything I wanted it to be. Was it a work of art going in the Getty Museum? No. But it was exactly what I wanted it to be in terms of visibility and discussion. And so many people stopped me while I was walking around and were like, hey, look, my favorite character is on there.
We will have a picture of it in the show notes.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Absolutely awesome. I was trying to avoid Obi-Wan spoilers on Twitter while also try to look at your Twitter for a picture of your cape. I was like, just quickly try to go to Scya's Twitter and see this cape. It was so fucking fabulous. I was so happy. And you looked so happy to wear it. It was awesome. What a job to Photoshop all that stuff together. It was just beautiful.
God, I didn't do it alone. Just so we're 100% clear. Okay, I did a lot of the work. I have a hard time giving myself credit. But a lot of players from the community, this started, like I said, 3 years ago. At the last celebration, they were saying, okay, next one's going to be in 2019. Nope. So this is like a long-term project. Players were submitting screenshots. We had this huge database of characters. People were submitting who should be on the cape, like names of characters and stuff like that. And people were helping a player, a very friendly player named Barnaby, helped cut out a ton of the characters on the cape so I could focus more on actually getting them together and photoshopping them together and everything like that. So just huge community project as well that I really loved.
That is so awesome. So you're at Celebration. You have an amazing cape. You have this beautiful sparkly dress. You are glowing. Now, let's talk about the things that you got to do because you are you. Here you are Scya, but mostly you are known as the one, the only Swtorista. And you got to do a ton of very special things, including an Old Republic panel. And I need to know all the details because apparently there's no video.
I got a little bit, but it's the worst background footage ever. We were so hoping someone would record it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I do have recordings of some of the other stuff we'll talk about later, but not this one. So I was...
Wait, why weren't you there with a laptop and your mic rig? Just plop that shit on the table. Come on, everybody. Gather round.
I'm an idiot. I have a tripod. I had my phone. I needed my phone for the notes. I just didn't have enough planning when I was also in it. That's the downside.
That's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Big cry. But the panel itself was amazing. So I was invited to join this panel by a player named Black Star. He's the admin for the Cosplayers of the Old Republic group. And we might talk about that a little bit later. But he applied for both a fan booth and a panel, just kind of trying to get as many shots out there to talk about what he loves. And he said, let's do a panel about the Old Republic era. I didn't even know. I thought it was just going to be me and him. He didn't tell me I'm adding, there's a bunch of people on this thing. And I'm glad there were because the Old Republic era is a huge era to talk about. It was a lore-based panel from a fan's perspective. It was not like a developer thing, but Charles Boyd was also on it as a guest. Right. So there was also some other players who are big fans of the Old Republic era, and we kind of divvied up into the Dawn of the Jedi, the Ancient Tales of the Jedi comics, Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars The Old Republic, and the Darth Bane era. And so I talked about Knights of the Old Republic. I got to show off my cape, got to talk about what I love. I only made one big mistake where I accidentally started reading someone else's notes.
Oh. Well, then the notes were wrong then, that's not your fault.
I helped write the notes, but I just got I got a little excited.
But I'm sorry, this water bottle is full of vodka, not water.
Shoot, happy Star Wars, everybody. I was telling everyone later that I was the least organized but the most excited to be there, which I think sums up a lot of my life.
Oh, no, you're very organized. And, the good news is, though, that everybody loves you. So
thank you.
You can ride on that and say whatever goofy shit you want on an Old Republic. Don't look at me. I thought the Starforge was gloves in a pair of pants.
Oh, I wish you'd been able to. I wish we'd recorded the panel just for you.
Thank you.
You need it.
Yeah.
You need to know who Revan is.
I told you, I know him. I kill him. Anyway.
But being on the panel was really cool to be an active participant in Star Wars Celebration, both there and a volunteer at the booth. That's what makes it for me. I was thinking about Star Wars Celebration in London coming up this next year, and I'm like, oh, I'd have to get a lot of money together to get there, and I wouldn't have anything to be a part of. Obviously, the Cosplayers booth won't be there because they are also American, and I won't have a panel, and I don't even know if the devs would be there. So it's like, I love that part. I love making things for you guys and creating content and sharing it with other people. And the panel was just a live version of that, which was very, very exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good that they go, to other places like London and stuff, because now, everybody there, they can travel and then they can have their day, in the sun and their panels and all that sort of stuff. So besides the panel you were on, did you get to visit any other panels that really interested you?
Oh, yeah.
Once you were not the star of.
No, I hate those panels that I'm not in.
Tell me about those lesser panels,
So as I mentioned at the beginning, the panels are a big part of why people go, because you got these big stars on stage filled in these big amphitheaters of people who like Star Wars and really want to be there. You can't do that anywhere else. No other place in the world is like that. And so I got to go to the behind the scenes of ILM, Industrial Lights and Magic panel, which was really cool. They make the VFX for Star Wars, and they had some old hands on stage talking about their experiences. One of my favorite stories they said is they have to do some weird things sometimes. They were apparently picking up a fridge and smashing it on the floor over and over with a load lifter. And as they were doing this, one of the other crew members was sitting in a hot tub because his part of the business was done. So he was just resting. He had to be on call. He couldn't leave, but he didn't have anything he had to do. And George Lucas comes up with a bunch of execs in his limo, and they come out. They see him in the hot tub. They see this fridge repeatedly being smashed into the ground. George Lucas steps out. The execs step out, and they just get back in and turn around and leave. Kind of reminds me of our podcast sometimes.
What? The hot tub part?
The fridge part, just kind of all of it. Everybody turning around and leaving.
What were they doing? Excuse you. What were they doing with the fridge, though? Because to me, that's the best part of old school Star Wars, is that all the sets were made of actual things.
Yes, amazing. And they talked a lot about that, the miniatures and the effects and stuff like that. The fridge thing, the guest who was telling the story didn't realize there was a reason until one of the other guests was like, oh, we were doing that for work. And she was like, oh my God, they're going to be so happy when they hear that. We thought you guys were just, smashing a fridge for fun.
What? What happened? Like, what were you shooting?
I have no...
Mandalorian season 4. We're out of beer and snacks. Smash the fridge, Grogu.
Smash or pass. I assume they were getting sound-related things, or maybe they were just needing to get some wreckage for a miniature or something. I don't know.
Hey, you should have said, if you need your sound effects, you come to the people of the Starforge podcast.
We weren't there yet. This is like 20 years ago. Or more. For when was 1977? Jeez.
Oh, dear.
I wasn't born yet, dude.
That was my parents' first date. My parents' first date, actually, was Star Wars.
No
At the drive-in. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and they went to Jack in the Box, and my dad got like a 20-pack of tacos, and apparently my mom was very sick, and they were watching Star Wars, and he was just chowing down on tacos while she was barfing out the passenger side.
And they got married?
I guess it was a good date, though. Yeah, they did. They got married.
Were you born 8 months later? Were you a taco baby?
No, I was not. I was not born until later. I'm not a taco baby. Thank you. I do like tacos, though.
It's in your genes.
Yeah.
And on your mom's jeans.
Oh.
So the other one I got to go to was kind of by accident. I really wanted to go to a panel called Tales of the Jedi. And I thought it might potentially be about the old comics that are actually in the Old Republic era. A lot of players maybe have never seen them, but they're like where Maka Ragnos and Naga Sadao and all that are from. And or I was thinking maybe it could be like an anthology of shorts. I was wrong. It was just another Ahsoka thing.
Oh.
LOL. The Ahsoka thing
Oh.
does look really beautiful, though, so we'll be looking forward to that in the fall. But no Old Republic stuff at all. But we got to see Dave Filoni on stage, which was super cool because he's the biggest Star Wars nerd and very gracious. He likes to talk about the other people who worked on his team who did stuff. He likes to talk about what the fans like to hear and talk about. So it's very cool. And we also saw another one called Behind the Scenes, The Mandalorian. That one was by accident. We kind of snuck in the theater before the Tales of the Jedi one, and it was just playing, and that was super cool too. They were talking about like all the stuff that like that happened behind the scenes of The Mandalorian. I loved that as well. Lots of really like fun stories there as well from people who worked on it, from like who got to cuddle the baby Yoda and stuff like that. Oh.
He is a puppet, too.
He is, right.
I love it. It's so much better than CGI. CGI does not hold up. No matter how good it looks. 20 years from now, it's going to look like shit.
Buddy.
But something that's a thing will always look like a thing.
You do know.
It just will, because it's real.
Every single background in The Mandalorian. Have you seen how they make that with the volume?
Mm-mm.
That thing is intense. So pretty much every background in The Mandalorian is actually completely CGI, but it's put onto like a big LCD screen, I think, LED, whatever, a big screen in the background, a big giant circular room that's like massive. And it's all digital effects. It's all like a background that they made. It's not real.
Well,
like
in 20 years, we'll check in.
Right?
We'll see how it looks. Oh, man. So I heard a rumor that you managed to leave Celebration with a special and very exclusive present from a certain bag company that I personally freaking love.
Oh,
and I actually just got my backpack zipper fixed at a shop up the street, because I have one and I love it. Tell me about your trip to Loungefly.
I managed to snag for Star Wars Celebration a media pass, and this was kind of a hot mess, to be honest. I just applied for it on a whim. Like, why not? I'm Swtorista.
Right.
I have the numbers. Maybe they'll give it to me. Apparently, it was really hit or miss whether people got one or not. I don't know what the requirements were. And
she was like, give it to me now.
Me. Or I will poo-poo.
Do you know who I am?
I will poo-poo on your celebration. So I was able to enter through a faster line, which was helpful because I had a lot of stuff I actually had to go do. Like, I had people to go talk to and help. That was the only perk I got. I thought there would be opportunities to do interviews or maybe talk to people from the show. Not a single staff member that I talked to could answer me any questions, even with my media badge. It was really crazy. I was like, okay, well, it was nice to get that in early, I guess. All right.
Yeah. Next time you get one, just walk around like you know exactly what's going on. Excuse me, Swtorista Media.
I tried to walk into one of the panels that it has very limited seating and get a up front, up close view one. And they said, "Ma'am, do you have a red wristband?" And I was like, "No." And then I was like, "Do I go in the regular line?" And they're like, "Yeah, just over there." I was like, "Okay, bye."
Wait, what color was your wristband?
I didn't have one at all. No wristband.
Oh, no.
So I need to find out what it looks like and Photoshop one next time.
Right? Anyway,
so
what did you get?
With my media pass, however, I did get a bunch of spam emails. No, just joking. I got a bunch of press releases, which is very normal. I used to send these out at the convention I used to work for, and they're like, "We are this booth. We have this cool new stuff. If it's something you wanted to write about or share on your website, blog, newspaper, whatever, come to our booth. Like, here's our new Boba Fett figurine." And I'm like, I don't care about any of these. But Loungefly, which is a company that I really like, and apparently Mal really likes too, they create higher quality fan accessories, especially purses and these little backpacks. Mal's got the R2-D2 purse right here. And I really, really like this company because prior to them existing, it was very hard to get products that were fandom related, but not like figurines. Like, I'm an adult. I want to spend money on stuff that's going to be nice and last and wasn't from Walmart. That's my thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm a collector as well, but I don't collect the traditional stuff. I don't have figurines. I don't collect lightsabers, but I like practical stuff because a bag I can go use and share with people, you know? And so they messaged me, instead of just a press release, their mass email said, "Do you want to do an interview? What questions do you want to ask? And when are you available?" So I was like, oh, hello, Media Pass. And so I asked them, I know you guys have this Revan backpack. It's a GameStop exclusive. I know it's not out yet. Will you bring it? And then maybe we can show it to people and you can talk to me about it. And will you talk to me about if there's any other Legends, kind of obscure Star Wars stuff coming out in the future? And will you talk to me about high quality fandom collecting? Just real quick.
Yeah.
And because I'm super down for that. They never emailed me back. And it was like, wah, wah, wah. Good marketing tactic to get me to notice your email, but never got a reply. But Mal, you're going to be so proud of me. I decided on Friday, I had a little bit of extra time. So I went to their booth and I was like, I'll shoot my shot. I'll ask them. I won't be ignored. No, I mean, I'll actually ask them. And they were like, oh, they never told me why they never mailed me back. I don't know if it was just a oopsie or whatever. But she brought the backpack to show me.
Wow.
She brought it just for me because I emailed them because it's not out yet. They can't sell it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I got to interview them. I got to interview the creative person as well as the merchandising person. And at the end, I was like joking. I was saying like, hey, what, can I tap you on the shoulder and like walk away with the bag and be like, look over there, you know, just very much joking because I figured they can't, I can't take it. It's not out yet. It's not released yet. And when we went back to the booth and I went to go say thank you, the marketing person was like, hey, do you want to keep it? That one's for you. And I was like, yes. Yes, I do. Because I really wanted it, but I actually wasn't planning on getting it because it was on the higher end of things to be purchasing, and I don't like to spend money. And I have a couple already. Okay, I really like this company, but I'm happy because it was a really good choice for them. Because I know it's totally a marketing thing. Like I know technically I'm an influencer for their marketing purposes, but a couple people already went and ordered some. I brought it back to the booth to show them, and then like Marv's like, look, I pre-ordered it on my phone.
Well, no, it's great because you are specifically an Old Republic influencer.
That's why I wanted to
that is who that backpack is for, which is an audience that is a little more obscure and a little smaller, you know, than the general Star Wars movies TV show audience. So did they tell you, are they having any other Old Republic style swag?
Oh, yeah. So that was my final question that I asked them. Are you going to have any more? They actually told me this isn't the first Legends thing that they've made. If anyone is old like Mal and remembers...
Oh, shit.
If anyone was born from tacos and the original Star Wars movie.
Jack in the Box drive-in movie theater tacos.
They made a backpack based on the original, I believe it was the comics or the artwork from Ewoks and Droids. It was like an old TV show, right? Maybe it was.
Oh shit! I do remember them having a bag like that. I have DVDs of the Ewoks and Droids.
So that's obviously not official Star Wars. That's not canon. But they knew that was the kind of stuff that people enjoy, and they made it. And same thing with the Revan backpack. They knew that demographic was back there, and that gaming fans are just as much into collecting this cool stuff as movie fans, and so they did that as well. And they said they can't announce what's coming up new. But they said at San Diego Comic-Con, which is also coming up in the summer, they will have something announced there. I don't know if it'll be Old Republic, but it'll be something in the more obscure Star Wars, not necessarily canon stuff. So,
Ooh, fascinating.
I wonder if they will make a Bastila backpack, because people would buy that one too.
Yeah, who knows? Loungefly, if you're listening. Scya says the people want a Bastila backpack. So the bag, I've seen it. I showed it to you. I think it looks like Revan. If you like Revan, this is the backpack for you.
They talked a lot about Easter eggs too. In the backpacks. There's 2 keychains. There's one of each of Revan's lightsabers attached to the but we're speaking about Revan.
Speaking about Revan. So talking about the perfect bag with Easter eggs and cosplay, let's talk about cosplay. You mentioned previously the cosplayers of the Old Republic. They had a booth They had a photo shoot. I actually think I follow them on Instagram or they follow me.
Very
or we
likely.
follow each other. Could be. I don't know. So tell me about their booth, what they had. Tell me about the
Yeah.
photo shoot. Tell me about some good stuff you saw.
So, the Cosplayers of the Old Republic are a group that focuses specifically on making costumes for yourself in the Old Republic era. So, it doesn't have to be Star Wars The Old Republic. It can be Knights of the Old Republic. It can be the books, the comics, anything in that whole shebang right there, that whole like 25,000 years era. And they are all online for the most part, except for conventions and stuff like this to help encourage people to join and let them know that it exists. They have a Facebook group for if you're looking to make a costume. And as Mal said, if you just want to see awesome photos, they have an Instagram and it's called Cosplayers of the Old Republic on both the Facebook and the Instagram. And so they were lucky enough, they applied for a booth and they were able to get one as a official fan booth on the floor. And I was helping to volunteer there. And it was very funny talking to people there. I kept saying like, do you know who these guys are? Like I'm not in their group. I'm just helping because I love the Old Republic era. It was really great because there's only 2 main admins, so they obviously would want some time to go walk around the show, go to some panels. So that's where I was helping out. And some days I was wearing my Old Republic cape and being like, look at my Revan. And they also hosted a photo shoot. Have you seen the photos for that yet?
No, I think I only saw one person who I loved because they went as their Swtorista character.
Yes, that was wonderful. So the
Yes.
photo shoot was something they organized. This is a common thing at Star Wars Celebration. They'll be like, the 501st, the Stormtroopers have a photo shoot. The Mandalorian Mercs have a photo shoot. The Rebel Legion has a photo shoot, and those are like official groups. And you should be in the club if you're in the photo, you know. And then there's also these kind of fan meetups. For example, everybody who's dressed as Rey, come to the stairs at this time, this date, and we can all have a big Rey photo shoot. Right, Han Solo photo shoot, Wookiee photo shoot. So ours was kind of a combination of that. You didn't have to be in the club to come in the photo shoot. All we were asking is, are you dressed as an Old Republic character? And I stopped so many people who weren't in the club while I was walking around. I was being like, did you? Are you gonna be at a photo shoot? Here's the date and the time. You know?
Aw. You're
So
talking them up. All right.
right. And a lot of them showed up. So we had a big old photo shoot with lots of Revans, lots of Basilas. We had some Kreia. We had some like original characters. Like you were saying, a player was dressed up in Star Wars, the Old Republic armor that matched their character in game.
Yeah, I think he was in the Exiled Padawan.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So Marv had a super cool costume. He was actually dressed as Revan another day, right? And super, super cool to see that many players interested in the Old Republic era all in one spot at the same time. And the best part was that wasn't even all of them who were at the convention, because some of them had stuff they had to do that overlapped, and some of them dressed up as Old Republic characters on the other days, and they just had a different costume today.
Oh, yeah. I like what you did. Every day you had something like vaguely, you wore your cape and your dress, and then you had like vaguely Star Warsy kind of outfits, as the days progressed. I think it's awesome. Cosplay is fun, but after a while you're like, oh my God, I'm hot and I'm itchy and I can't sit in this. I regret all my life choices.
Actually, a pretty funny reason. I was planning to wear the cape 3 out of the 4 days. Okay, so my plan was to wear it 2, and then the 3rd day I was like, I like showing it off. I'm going to wear it the 3rd day. It's a little stinky, but whatever, But that day I was going with my husband, and he was
pack
like,
the Febreze.
I was like, everybody was stopping me to ask about my cape, and he's like, could you go one day without it and we can just chill out?
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah, I can.
Can you put on this burlap sack and these sunglasses so that nobody knows who you are?
Guess what?
So I can have fun with you.
It didn't help him at all. People recognize me even without the cape.
Oh my God. I love that so many people came in Old Republic cosplay because, oh my God, way back in 2015, they had a cosplay contest at one of their cantinas that they did in New York. And like with 2 months notice, I was like, all right, they're like, come as a character in Star Wars, The Old Republic. So I thought, well, I mean, I pay X amount of dollars every month to be Mal in Star Wars, The Old Republic. So I'm going to go as Mal. Fuck Revan. Fuck everybody else in this game. I'm going as me.
Yeah. I forgot you dressed up. So which armor were you wearing? It's Scions, right?
I was wearing Darth Sion's armor. So I looked kind of Sithy, even though Mal is light side. But at the time, that was kind of one of the best outfits on the market. So, and when I got there, they had this whole Excel spreadsheet of people who had signed up, and they were looking for my name.
Oh, and you didn't know? Did you sign up?
I did sign up. I signed up, and when I got there, they had a list. They were like, okay, let us just check you off the list. And they must have had 5 pages of Excel spreadsheet printed out with people's names. And I was like, oh, well, I'm fucked.
Right.
Because I only spent, 2 months on this, but only 8 people actually showed up.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
It was crazy. And now, you're at Celebration and so many people in Old Republic cosplay. It
helps because it's a Star Wars specific convention. That's the big difference there. And that makes me so sad because I know if I go to a Comic-Con convention, I'll probably still have fun. I like to go to San Diego Comic-Con. Even if I don't have a ticket, sometimes I'll just go walk around. They have so much stuff, but it's not the same. It's not Star Wars focused.
No, and Comic-Con is funny because it's changed a lot because Comic-Con used to be about comic books.
Now it's pop culture, yeah.
Now it is like 15 to 20% comic books and all the rest TV and movies.
And I'm like,
haha,
I don't like comic books, traditional ones very much. So win for me.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It's just, odd. I've only ever been to one Comic-Con and we sat on a panel for The Evil Dead.
Oh, cool.
And which I love because Bruce Campbell was there. And a Firefly panel, but none of that really has much to do with comics. But there you go. So besides Old Republic, though, back to the scoop. What else did you see? I saw a picture of someone in this ridiculous Porg costume.
Oh my God, the Porg costume. So I'd actually seen this this person working on the Porg costume on Facebook before Star Wars Celebration, and I was like, I need to see this. I have to see this. If I don't see this, I'm gonna die. I'm looking up who made this right now. Or Porg costume. Where are you? And I was so mad my husband saw it before me. Like he saw it while he was in line. And I was like, I'm going to kill you and steal your Porg
Did you make him
Porg
poke his eyes out?
Right, yeah. Like unsee it so I can see it.
Go get your memory wiped, Mr. Swtorista. Don't you know who I am here?
I can't find it, but it was so wonderful. She was explaining in the Facebook post that she actually built the costume based on a plushie. She took one of the plushies apart and blew it up by, it was like 500% or something. And it's like little mouth opens up and closes and like, just the most ridiculous. It's this huge Porg costume. It's not like a sexy costume. It's just huge and fluffy and adorable. And I found it. And
massive.
I got
like,
so...
eat this, Chewbacca. How do you like me now?
You could have knocked Chewbacca over easy with that Porg. Shh. I got so flustered, I forgot how to take a selfie on my camera.
Oh my God.
I did get some video of the little Porg's mouth going... Arf, 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 arf.
Do you know how much it weighed? And if she had AC built to the inside of it?
I don't know. I hope so. She was dying in there, I bet. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure she wore it every day. I know I would have if I was a giant Porg.
That's how Comic-Con goes. You're either dying or you're freezing because you can't really wear a coat.
Right.
I know this because I went. No, you know what? Have I been to 2 Comic-Cons? No, I've only been to 1 Comic-Con. I didn't go as Mal to Comic-Con. I actually went as Isabella from Dragon Age to Comic-Con. Google a picture of Isabella. It was like the end of October. And I was like standing under a heat lamp at the hotel, like, come on, cab, take me to the convention. My ass is cold.
We'll have to dress up in like the Star Wars The Old Republic parkas next time. No, it definitely was that way.
Oh, no, you know what? I'll go as Scya and you go as Mal.
We're going to crossplay? Is that what's going on here?
Some crossplay cosplay. Who done it? Those wacky humans of the Starforge podcast cosplaying as each other again.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Well, okay, but if you're wearing my armor, you are going to get stopped by about 1,000 people thinking that you're me.
No one will ever think I'm you. I would need to grow 5 inches.
Oh, it's true. You're short. I won't even be able to steal the costume afterwards.
You have to let it out in the ass.
Don't lose any weight though. I had a really tough time making sure to like eat enough during celebration. Multiple members of our party did bad life choices at remembering to like drink enough water, eat enough food, and weren't feeling so hot afterwards. I was like,
you gotta hit that. Gotta take that vitamin C. Bring those Hall's Defense with you. Don't get the con flu. Anyway, listen. We're gonna loop back to Swtora here for a moment because it sounds like they were pretty well represented at Celebration. And I know from Twitter, some of the devs were there. You said Charles Boyd was there. I think Jackie, the community manager, was also there. She seems very cool. Did you meet anyone else there who had previously worked on Swtora, who works on Swtora now?
Yeah, so
who did you meet?
A lot of people actually from the Star Wars The Old Republic team were there who worked on it in various capacities. We also had officially, so those two were attending, as well as Ashley Rule. She's a lead cinematics director. She attended as well, and we'll have an interview up on my channel from her and Charles Boyd later in the week. Oh, it's probably already out by the time you guys get to listen to this, so that's cool. And Fred, he's the lead external dev artist. He kind of helps manage people who create content, not content, art, like the graphics for the game, like the environment and stuff like that, outside of the office. And there was also, by accident, I ran into someone named Alex, and he was a writer on the Disorder trailer, the new one that came out. He came up to me because he saw my cape. And he's like, I worked on the Disorder trailer. My wife, the lady, Sahar, is named after my wife. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
And we also...
Good thing he doesn't listen to the podcast to hear us be like, why did you spend money on this trailer?
He actually is in a podcast. Oh. I shouldn't tell him we have a podcast. So he's in a podcast called Black Series Rebels with some other Star Wars people as well, which I thought was neat. I was trying to figure out who he was because I went up to the Cosplayers booth and I went to talk to Blackstar, the admin there, and was like, I got to talk to this guy named Alex, and he said he worked on that. He was a writer. And he was like, Alexander Freed? And Alexander Freed's like super famous Star Wars writer for the Old Republic era. And no, not Alexander Freed. And I did see someone, however, super famous in the Old Republic, and that was Darren DePaul, and he is the voice actor for Valkorion.
He is a very down-to-earth dude.
He's
we
so
met him at a
nice.
cantina as well.
He is so ridiculously nice.
He is, and he's in so much stuff. He's in everything. He's so talented.
So I don't even think he was there on an official capacity at all. I think he just came for funsies, to be honest.
He's just a cool dude, I'm telling you.
And then lastly, Star Wars The Old Republic. So we had the unofficial presence, like we had the panel that we were hosting, but Charles just also was in it. We had the Cosplayers of the Old Republic booth. We had the Cosplayers of the Old Republic photo shoot. We had a Cosplayers of the Old Republic and KOTOR fans unofficial meetup that was in the evening, like in a bar. So there was a lot, but they also had a very official presence at the Galaxy of Heroes booth. So Galaxy of Heroes is a mobile phone game. Quite a few SWTOR players actually really like it too. It's something you can do more on your downtime while you're in between, especially a lot of people who work professional jobs, I noticed, like it, probably because you can play it kind of more on the go. And so they were bringing...
I used to play it.
Oh, you used to play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was grindy. It was really grindy.
It is very
point,
much.
It's,
it's not meant to be something played in the same way that we play Star Wars The Old Republic, that's for sure. And so they are adding the character.
Not at all grindy like SWTOR.
Well, SWTOR has all the stories and stuff. You don't have to grind if you don't want to. Crazy pants.
Oh.
They are bringing the character Darth Malgus into Galaxy of Heroes because they like to do that. They had added Revan, they had added Bassa, so they're adding
That's awesome.
Darth Malgus. And so the devs were kind of guests at their booth and bringing extra, like people to the booth and excitement and stuff. So they gave 2 different dev talks. The first one was specifically about Galaxy of Heroes and bringing Darth Malgus into the Galaxy of Heroes. That one was not as relevant, but very interesting because they talked a lot about how the dev teams worked together between the 2 teams, and that was pretty neat. And how to get Malgus right, how they dialed down Malgus to his kind of essence. And then the The devs, Charles Boyd, the creative director, and Ashley Rule, the lead cinematics director, gave a talk about cinematics in the Old Republic. That one was super relevant and very, very cool, very behind the scenes, and I do have a recording of that for you guys. And they also did a Q&A after. Do you want to hear Juicy?
Yes. Juicy Swator.
So they weren't announcing anything, and I keep getting people asking me, did they announce anything at Celebration? I'm like, dude, they didn't even have a booth or a cantina, and they just told us when 7.1 would come out. Relax. There's nothing more to tell right now. I don't know what you're expecting. They're going to get an expansion in the summer. No. But they've kind of mentioned in interviews before the idea that with this separation of origin stories and combat styles, that could potentially open up the ability to add new classes in the future. Like before, it would have been too difficult. Now it's potentially an option, not completely on the wall of crazy. This time, a player asked, will we ever get a new class? And oh my God, you guys, they did not announce a new class, just to be clear. But he really strongly reiterated that fact, like really, really strongly saying that they spent a ton of time and effort separating those things and that it was way more possible now than it ever was before. And he literally ended it saying, wink, wink. Like, I don't know how much more clear they can get without outright promising that potentially a new class could be coming. I think the reason they didn't want to say any more is because it's a question of when. Everything is kind of so far pushed out. This is my opinion at this point. We're not getting 7.1 till the summer. If they're making anything huge and new, it probably wouldn't be out till December, and we're still kind of catching up with all the bugs and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see closer to December, or maybe it may not be till 2023, but I genuinely think that there's a good chance actually adding a new class may make it into the game, which is crazy. Like, if you had asked me that 10 years ago, I'd have been like, no, you're delusional.
I think they kind of have to at this point, right? Because if you want to do things that are any more complicated than what you have now, you would need to add a class that could help with that. Like, I think Swator could really use a good support class.
Right. We really don't have something like that.
A lot of MMOs have a support class. We don't really.
I don't know what that would look like. They struggle so much with balancing as it is.
I know.
Right. I don't know what that would look like. They also talked about...
Be a bard. Jedi bard singing my song into my lightsaber.
They talked about
Buff your
how
stats.
they probably wouldn't ever add a new class story, though, because the archetypes are so well defined. The smuggler, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
There's not really any other ones that you could really add that would be worth adding, they said.
I get that. That's fine. You have the stories, and like you said, how they separated the origin stories from the combat classes. They have set this up.
So we'll see. I've been trying to guess what a new combat style they could add would be that would be like blow my socks off. I came to the conclusion it's got to be something Jedi and Sith. It's got to be, because that's what would make the most buzz, right? And I was thinking it should be related to whatever came out in the Disorder trailer, right? Because that's the biggest hype right now. But I cannot for the life of me think. I gotta wonder if it's related to the whole Jedi Seeker thing. Like, there's that lady Jedi who's trying to go find all the missing Jedi, but I don't know what. Maybe battle meditation related. That's a big buzzword that people seem to love, but has literally no place at all in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like, it doesn't exist in any way. So if you want a support class, battle meditation Jedi Sith,
The Jedi Seeker, like the Professor X, you know? You scout for all the Jedi and the Sith, and you go out in the galaxy and you find them.
That could make some cool stuff in PvP too.
A ragtag team of
like,
Jedi and Sith.
Oh my God. In your hover chair.
This is my movie idea. Nobody else steal it. It's never been done before or never been thought of before this moment right now.
But that could be something else like they look into, like in a lot of other games that are player versus player focused. One of the abilities is the ability to find hidden teammates, and stealth is such a big part of PvP as well. That could be like a PvP focused utility. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea what it could be.
I don't know. Charles Boyd is cool. We met him at the very first Star Wars cantina they ever had. The game was so new. I hadn't even played but like 1 or 2, maybe 3 class stories.
Mhm.
And my husband wanted to ask him something about the Commando story. And I had to get up and leave the table because I didn't play it yet. So I said, I'm going to get up. So, spoiler alert for the Trooper story. He asked Charles Boyd if there was a way to save Jaxo because he really liked Jaxo.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
what?
and like I said, the game was
Wait,
so
that's
new.
a big spoiler.
The game was so new, we haven't. I said spoiler.
Okay, well, good. Because what do you
Well,
mean,
he
how
wanted
do
to
you
know.
save Jaxo? You saved Jaxo
No.
by sacrificing everybody else.
No, he wanted to know if you could save her and then she was still there, like she stuck around.
He wants to go,
Like if there was a way.
Boom, boom. He wants Jaxo in his room and spend the night together. Literally from now until forever, not just one night. Got it.
Yeah. And no, he was told by the writer that no, sadly,
She's not a
that was
companion.
not a thing. You could not do that. There was no way to do that. So.
Man, these days the writer would be like, freaking Google it. God damn. Go look at Swtorista's romance guide.
This was like 2011. What were you, 5 in 2011?
Ouch. Boom.
Ooh.
Got him.
You're a Chipotle baby, not a Jack in the Box baby.
I'm from Canada,
Ooh.
you idiot. We don't have Chipotle. We only
You're
have...
a Tim Hortons.
Yeah, there you
Tim
go.
Hortons.
There you go.
Tim Hortons. I know things. Who says I don't? Anyway, that was so much celebration news. Now I would like to hear SWTOR event news. You heard it here last.
We're all waiting for update 7.1, which should be coming out midsummer. We don't have an exact date, and we're just kind of crossing our fingers and hope it actually does come out then. The public test server could potentially be out by the time you're listening to this for 7.1, so there may be some big news there. Keep your eye on the dev tracker. If you're listening to this when the podcast came out, the All World Swoop Rally is running May 31st until June 7th, so it should be getting close to ending. And just keep in mind, the planets of Dantooine isn't properly scaling you up or down. So if you're a low level, you may have a rough time. Just do your best to avoid the mobs. And that's pretty much everything that's going on. Just 7.1 is the big news that we're waiting for right now.
Yep. So I'm looking at the time and like going, oh my God, how am I going to edit this by Thursday night? So that's the end of the podcast. Everybody stop talking right now.
Bye, everybody. You've been listening to the Star Forge podcast with Scya and Mal. We know you have your choice of podcasts, and you chose the right one. New episodes drop every Friday on Google and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Swtorista's YouTube channel, and just about every other podcast platform in existence. For show notes, pictures, and other information, visit starforgepodcast.com. Hit us up on Twitter at StarForgeCast. We love hearing from you. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next week.
We're going to continue talking about this. You're hot. I can hear it in my cans. This is VO, so I don't mean these cans. I mean these cans. The ones in my ears.
Let me turn
Not the one. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to cut it a little. I'd rather pump you up if you're too low than have to like work
Okay,
on
I've
it.
turned it down some more. Can I yell a little bit? Yeah, okay.